All right, all right. Welcome back, everybody. It is another episode, another one of From the Pocket, episode 104. Coming at you a little late this week. It's Thursday. We typically try to record these on Wednesday, but I had some stuff going on, and Christian was kind enough to move our day for us. So I appreciate you, Christian. But how are you, Christian? How's your day going?
I'm all right. A little tired. Um, but yeah, we're moving on. But week's almost over.
All right, love to hear it. Yeah, it's already Thursday. We actually have Thursday night football going on right now. This Jets and Patriots game. So we'll kind of be watching that. It's not often we get to watch football while we record our segment, so that'll be
We've
fun.
done it a couple times. We try not to do it too many times, but we've done it a few times.
Really quick, we should. It's 0-0 right now, about halfway through the first. I think we should just get this prediction out of the way really quick, so we're not
Oh
making this in
yeah.
like an hour and a half. Um,
I think I was gonna go the Patriots. Honestly,
I'm
like
probably
I
going
know,
Jets.
like Jets hater, but I mean I like the Patriots. They've been playing well these last 2 weeks. I like Mayo at defense. It seems like they haven't taken a step back.
No,
They've
for
been
sure not.
pretty solid. They got that week 1 win in Cincinnati on the road. It was awesome, and then they were in that game for much of that game in versus Seattle,
Yeah,
and ended up losing by 3. But I think Seattle's a good team, so it's like, hey, we can beat some good teams. We can't beat them all, but I think I like this Patriots team. I think they're very feisty.
I feel that. I'm definitely rooting for the Patriots. I'm kind of on that Jets hater bandwagon with you, but I will
Are you?
say, I mean, not as much as you are. Like, I think they'll be okay, but I don't have a ton of faith in them. But I just, short week in New York, Patriots coming off a game where they played in overtime, and I just think the Jets have the more talented roster. I will go Jets here. But that's 6.5. That 6.5 point spread is wild.
I
I'd
wish
be
we were.
smashing that Patriots
Yeah.
plus 6.5
I
all
thought
day.
that was wild. I was very shocked. I'm like, really? Like, we really think the Jets are about to win at least by a touchdown? That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So all right, cool. So we got that out of the way. But yeah, Christian, we got a lot to get to today. We did not have a segment on
Yeah, we
Sunday
didn't
to
talk
recap.
about anything. We're missing
Yeah.
out on a lot of
So
stuff.
so we'll given the fact that it's already Thursday, and I think most people have moved past week 2. I
Yeah.
think we should kind of just do a lightning segment like we used to do, a good old classic lightning segment where we wrap up the week in like 5 minutes or so. Do you want to lead that actually?
Sure.
All right, so I'll put you on the clock. So let me pull up a timer right here. I'll give you 5 minutes to talk through the games. If we go a couple minutes over, no big deal. But I might chime in here and there on some games too. So lightning round. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Last Thursday, we had the Bills heading over to Miami on the Thursday night game. Was not much of a game. Tua threw had 2 interceptions. Got injured like late in that third quarter. The Bills get the win, 31-10. Yeah, it was just a rough outing all that that way.
Yeah.
You did you want to add anything
I mean, I just the whole Tua conversation about I
yeah.
I I don't want to
On
be the
IR now?
yeah, he's on IR. I'm not trying to be a guy that tells somebody what they should do with their career, but like Tua got his money.
Yeah.
He's had a relative to the rest of the league. He's had a really good career. Not almost
Mhm.
nobody accomplishes what he's done in this league so far. So yeah, I mean, he wants to keep playing. I trust him, and that's a decision between him, his doctor, and his
Is
family. But
yeah,
I I am now worried for Tua, just as a person,
I
personally.
agree. I yeah, as long as he knows the risk and what it could lead to, and if he's making that decision of his own free will, then let it be. But hey, man, it's not gonna get easier.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I wish him the best. Biggest shocker of week 2, we had the Saints going on the road into Dallas, and who would have thought the Saints have the number 1 offense in 2 weeks, scoring over 40 points a game. Yeah, the Saints get the win, 44-19. wasn't even a game like off the rip. It was 14-3 in the first quarter. Then the Saints put up 21. It was bad. It was bad. Jake, what would you think of this game, real quick?
I mean, it was depressing as a Cowboys
Yeah,
fan.
Alvin Kamara
You
had
know,
3 touchdowns,
it
rushing
it was
touchdowns.
just tough because it's like we had 16 points in the first half, and it's just I texted this to you. It's like you tell somebody, hey, good news, your team scored in the first half. Your team scored on all but one drive. You have 16 points, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's a great first half. Like, what are we? So we're up. It's like, no, you're not up. It's like, oh, we're down. Okay, well, what are we down by? Like a touchdown? Not a touchdown. That's a lot, right? No, you're not down by a touchdown. You're down by 3 possessions. It's like, what? How did that happen? Like they scored. They had 5 drives in the first half. All 5 ended in touchdowns. Brutal, brutal. It was tough. So not a fan of that. I do have something I want to say after we recap the rest of the games. I have the second ever apology that we're going to issue on this podcast. I have to issue it to the New Orleans Saints. So
Moving on, we had the Buccaneers going up against the Detroit Lions, a divisional rematch of last year. The Bucks get the win with a Baker Mayfield passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. They get the win over the Lions, 20-16. The Buccaneers are now 2-0, and Baker's looking pretty good. Jared Goff a didn't have had an okay game. 34 55, a lot of passing attempts, 370 yards, but had 2 interceptions, no picks. So uh, hopefully they get that corrected. I think was it Dan Campbell was like crying at the podium after this game. So I definitely believe they'll get this fixed next week. Then we had the Colts coming into the Packers. Malik Neighbors getting the start
Malik
and
Willis.
getting Malik Willis. Oh yeah, that's the
Neighbors is the receiver for the
the
Giants. Yeah,
receiver for
he's
the
the
Giants,
rookie.
who looked good in his
He
game
looked
when I
great.
get
Yeah.
to the when he gets into that one. So Malik Willis getting the start, gets the win over the Colts, 16-10. Anthony Richardson was a little just all over the place, 17 for 34, 204 yards and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs played well, had over 151 yards, but had 32 carries. That's a little concerning, but I trust Matt LaFleur. Keep the ball out of Malik Willis's hands as much as possible, and they did that and got the win. So the Packers are now got their first win in the season. Unfortunately, the Colts drop down to 0-2.
Yeah, and on this game, really quick, Jonathan Taylor being benched in the fourth quarter just made no sense. He didn't play a single snap in the fourth quarter, I think. Shane Steichen saying it's because he's not great in pass plays. He's not good at pass protection or catching, and they were obviously down. But there are some
It's their
moments.
best player, and
Yeah, there
that's
was a
crazy.
third and short where they decided to do like an option read, and they didn't get it with their backup, and it was bizarre. So definitely weird. I don't know what Shane Steichen was doing there, but clearly I think it backfired, and I hope he learns his lesson.
Okay. Then we had the New York Jets going over to the Tennessee Titans. Will Levis has another struggling, like a late game
Meltdown.
meltdown, like what are you doing kind of play. Overall, I did okay, 19 for 28, 192 yards and a touchdown, but did not get the win. Jets get it 24-17. Um, yeah, moving on to the 49ers Vikings, which before we talked about this game last week, I didn't realize because I think we mentioned the 49ers had played the Vikings last year and they lost, but apparently they haven't beaten Minnesota in Minnesota in years. Like, this has spanned over years. And yeah, this crept up again. The Vikings 2-0 on the season. Getting the win 23-17. Yeah, it's just Debo Samuel now is on IR. Christian McCaffrey, not IR, he's going to miss a few weeks. Christian McCaffrey is on IR. So we'll see how the 49ers look moving forward. They're now 1-1. Like I said, the Vikings 2-0. Seahawks Patriots went into overtime. Look at you,
Yep.
Patriots. Uh, man, that's crazy. But yeah, the Seahawks get the win with the Jason Myers 31-yard field goal to excuse me, to break the tie in overtime. Yeah, very back and forth game. I think, like we talked about at the top of the show, I think the Patriots are a really good team, or like at least a feisty team, and I like Seahawks. Uh, Good job out there. What's his name? Mike McDaniel taking over the Seahawks as a rookie head coach. Love to see it. When we had the Giants going up against the Commanders there. The Commanders get the win. Uh, Jaden Daniels looked okay, looked pretty good. That man can run. That man can run.
He's
23 for
he's been the best rookie quarterback so far.
I mean, he has. None of them have thrown a touchdown yet, but
Yeah,
he has been the best one out of all of them. 23 for 29, 226 yards, and had some yards on the ground there. He gets the win, 21-18. And as I said, Malik Neighbors looked pretty good in the Giant and for the Giants there. 10 catches, 127 yards, and a touchdown. So
dropped a critical one on fourth down though to keep their drive
hey,
alive and go win it. Yeah,
hey,
tough right there.
he's a rookie.
Yeah,
It hurts,
yeah,
especially since he was having such a good game. But
yeah, for
it is
sure.
happens. All right, and then the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers, go to Carolina. They get the win, 26-13. Justin Herbert didn't do much of anything. Well, he threw 2 touchdowns, 14 for 20, 130 yards. J.K. Dobbs, 17 carries, 131 yards, and a touchdown. They're just they're. This is what John
Jim.
Hart. Jim, dude, every time. This is what
Uh,
Jim wants to do. He wants to run the ball and play keep away, play good defense. It was against the Panthers. After this game, Bryce Young did get benched. Andy Dalton will be the starter, which I think is a good thing. He got hit a lot last year, and I think he's just scared in the pocket right now. He's not really trusting his O line. I think I saw a stat where he had the least amount of pressures in his face, and he just doesn't look comfortable in the pocket. So maybe let him sit, learn behind Andy Dalton, and maybe he can jump get his career back on track. But it is a little rough.
yeah,
Going next to the Browns visiting the Jags. Browns get the win, 18-13. Pretty close game overall. Trevor Lawrence did not play well, 14 for 30, 220 yards. And yeah, Deshaun
yeah,
Watson had an okay game, not too bad.
yeah. This is a bad game.
It was,
Overall, neither team wanted to win this game.
yeah.
It was 16-13, and the Jaguars had a chance to go. They were like backed up on their goal line like at the end of the fourth quarter,
They had a
and
safety.
they got a safety, and it's like, oh, it's game over. And then Kevin Stefanski made some just terrible decisions,
Oh.
and gave them the ball back inexplicably with a chance to win, and the Jaguars still couldn't do it. So, just just debauchery all around.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, the Raiders versus the Ravens. Tell me if you heard this story again. The Ravens have a late, like what, 1 or 2 possession
Two
lead,
possession,
and
they were by 10 points.
yeah, they're so Ravens do it again, and they lose a game they shouldn't have. Giving up 13 points in the fourth to the Raiders. Gardner Minshew, 30 for 38. Yeah, 30 for 38, 276 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Adams looking like his old self. 9 carries, 110 yards and a touchdown. So good for the Raiders getting their first win of the season. And the Ravens dropping down to 0-2.
Man,
It's been a minute since we saw that. I can't
yeah.
remember the last time I saw that they were 0-2.
You know what? I want to look that up really quick,
Yeah, you're good.
but
I'll
yeah,
move on.
yeah, you can keep going.
All right, and then we had an NFC West matchup. We had the Rams going up against the Cardinals, and everyone was talking about Kyler. You missed Marvin Harrison last week, and Kyler immediately said, "Nah, f all that." Marvin Harrison Jr. first half had 4 catches, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't think his dad did that in a season or whatever. In a half, actually. I think he did that in a
That's a good
half.
question. That's a good trivia question. I don't know.
I think I saw that on Twitter. I don't know. Didn't say that. I should have. But yeah, Cardinals mollywalked the Rams 41-10. Cardinals back in this thing. They're feisty at 1-1. Rams dropped down to 0-2. It's I know it's rough. They're dealing with a lot of injuries. Puka Nakua, I think Cooper Cup's got injured
Yeah, Cooper
in this
Cup's
game.
out. Yeah.
So it's gonna be tough sledding for them right now, but I think the Rams are still a good team. So
And to answer your question really quick, Baltimore, you have to go back to 2015, the last time they started out 0-2. That year they started out 0-3, and they went 5-11. And their Week 4 win against the Steelers was an overtime win. So they were an overtime away from going. They started out that year 1-6. So I digress. Continue.
Boy, all right. I know I'm over the 5 minute mark, but all right. We got a few games left. We have the Steelers going on the road to Denver. Pittsburgh gets the win, 13-6. Very ugly game. Another high passing attempts for Bo Nix, 20 for 35, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, it was just kind of Justin Fields didn't lose in the game, so it was just kind of that. It was just kind of that. It was
Rely on the
13 to
defense.
yeah, it was 13-0 for much of this game.
Yeah, yeah, it was not good. Bo Nix, just I mean, he feels like he has some moments, but really just struggling to finish drives. Had an interception in the end zone in this game. It's tough. Been tough sledding for these rookies.
Yeah, it has been. All right, and then the game of the week, which I fell asleep on. I was just tired, man. But I did wake up and saw like the later half of the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter. The Bengals went up against the Chiefs, and we were talking about it, like, are the Bengals going to show up versus the Chiefs? And it seems like they always do. They always show up, no matter what. They could be in a slump, but it seems like they just show up for the Chiefs. Bengals had the lead late, but unfortunately, Patrick Mahomes did his Patrick Mahomes thing. He got a interception called back. It was a pretty wild stuff, but once again, this game ends in less than 3 points. The Chiefs win 26-25, but they did lose Isaiah Pacheco, I think, for the season. Kareem Hunt.
His leg's broken. I think he'll be back in a couple months. No, is he
he could
did
be.
they say
I
he's
don't
out
know.
for season? Holy.
I don't know. He could be back by the playoffs. We will see. But for right now, it's Kareem. It's Kareem Hunt.
All right.
Coming in.
And Samaje Perine.
And Samaje Perine. I thought I saw he was maybe out for the season, but I could have been wrong.
Maybe.
But yeah. And the Chiefs get the win, 26-25. Unfortunate for the Bengals, they are 0-2. But I mean, they've been 0-2 most of Joe Burrow's career, so I think they'll be fine. They got Carolina up next, so they should be okay.
The Bengals.
The Jets scored.
The Bengals don't have the Panthers. The Panthers playing the Raiders. They have the.
Is it the Commanders?
No, they have the Commanders. Yeah, Monday night, and then they have the Panthers.
Then okay, they can get back to 500 in these next 2 weeks if they don't, look past them. All right, then we had the Sunday night game.
Sunday night.
Didn't really watch much of this. I was kind of bored of this one. Not gonna lie. It was looking like it was gonna be fun. Caleb Williams was cooking. I liked their game plan in the beginning of the game, but it just didn't work out. Texans get the win, 19-13. There was a touchdown pass, and they got 4 field goals. Sucks. Sorry, Caleb. It's gonna be rough. You play for the Bears. And then the final this Monday night. Man, I wish we would have recorded on Wednesday, but man, this Monday night game was
amazing.
Was crazy.
Best game of the year.
It was good. Well, it was. I'm like, okay, the Eagles got this, right? Saquon was doing his thing. Kirk Cousins, the Falcons defense looks pretty good. Not gonna lie. If they could get their offense figured out, man, I'm I'm not saying they be a playoff team, but they could be something serious in the NFC. I'm just saying. But yeah, for much of this game, kind of back and forth. But almost put away. It was 15-21. Well, it was 15-18, and the Eagles were driving. And uh, was it like 3rd and 3 or whatever?
Yes.
And it was 3rd and 3, and look, the play worked. Now, we had some questionable. Oh, sorry, I want to get back to this one thing. Nick Sirianni, why are we going for it early in the first quarter? Just take the goddamn points.
Yeah.
And we saw what happened. You lost by 2, or you lost by 1. Maybe if you would have kicked that field goal, maybe you probably wouldn't have been in that situation. I don't know. What are we doing here? Like, why are we going for it on 4? Like, especially since, you know, your their offense had a series, they didn't score. Your offense had a series, you didn't score. And then when you finally get a drive going, you get in the red zone. Like, I know you didn't get a touchdown, but take the take the goddamn points. So yeah, so now forward to the fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 3, and for what it's worth, it was the play call did work. Saquon, I heard, I think after this game, apparently has the most drops of any running back or something like that. I didn't exactly hear it, but I thought that was pretty interesting. Dropped a pass, and then 4th and 3, they decide to kick it um, instead of going for it, which you probably should have went for it there. But yeah, and then they kicked the field goal, and it was a touchback, and they put it at the now they put it at the 20, right? With the new kickoff rules.
So they put it at, if it lands in the landing zone and
You
rolls
have
into
to.
the end zone, it's at the
Oh,
20. If it just goes straight into the end zone,
it's a
it's at the
25.
30.
Oh, it's at the 30.
It's at the 30, yeah.
So so it hit at so it hit straight into the end zone, and so they got it at the 30. And Kirk Cousins put on a
A
masterpiece of a
clinic.
drive.
Absolutely
I
perfect.
wish dude, I was so sad because like when I was watching this game, when I saw the Eagles were driving, I was like, oh, I can stop watching this game, and I started playing some game. I started playing Balloon Tower with some with the homies, and then I hear, but I still have the game going, and I'm hearing the Falcons won, and I'm like, what happened? And so yeah, and then Kirk Cousins drives down 70 yards, and Drake London scores on not Darius Slayton. What's his name? Big play Slay. I forgot what his name is.
Darius Slay.
It is Darius. Okay, I thought it. Okay, I was like,
Giving
no,
up
it's not
big play
Darius.
Slay. That's what
Giving
we
up
call
big
him.
play Slay,
That's what we
and
call
the
him.
Falcons get the win 22-21, and that's week 3 or week 2. Sorry.
All right, nice. Well, we did it in like 15-ish minutes. It's cool though. It
I
was
know.
yeah.
I
No, I
knew.
talked a lot. Hey, it's all good. Yeah, no, it was a wild week. Definitely heartbreaking for me in some ways, but also pretty cool. It was one of those weeks where, I have all these predictions. We come in with all these thoughts, and we spend all this time, and it's a bit of a letdown when you realize that you're going to be wrong on some very, very key things.
Mhm.
But after a day of sitting with it, that's what makes this sport so good, is the fact that you can't predict stuff like that. Like, who had the Vikings, week 1 against the Giants, sure, but beating the 49ers,
Well, I mean, if you were a Vikings fan, it's like, oh, they have beaten us and God knows when. But yeah,
the Rams are a popular team. They're 0-2. The Lions getting beat at home by the Bucks. The Saints really good out of nowhere, blowing out the Cowboys.
#1 offense
Like,
in the league right now.
you
Clint
know,
Kubiak, offensive coordinator. It's crazy.
do I wish I hadn't been dumb and said the Saints were going to be the worst team in football this year? Yeah, and it made me sad when I realized I was going to be wrong about that. But, again, that's what's so good about this sport. You just never know what you're going to get. So, yeah, it's a tough week for some of us fandoms, but also a really good week just for the league. I know a lot of people are down on the scoring. Scoring is down by a lot. I think that's just kind of where we're at
Unless
now.
you're New Orleans,
Unless you're
you
New Orleans.
happy as a clam.
Yeah, so, well, Christian, I did, before we, kind of a transition, right, from week 1 to week 2, or week 2 to week 3, rather. I wanted to get some thoughts from you, a little bit impromptu. I know we didn't talk about this, but I want to ask you. So right now, I'm counting them up. There are 9 0-2 teams in the NFL right now.
Yep.
I'll list them out for you. You got the Rams. You got the Panthers.
You
You
said
got
0
the
and 2 or 2 and
Giants.
0?
0-2.
0 and 2. Oh, I thought you said 2. My bad.
Rams, Panthers, Giants, Broncos, Bengals, Ravens, Titans, Jags, and Colts. So, Christian, I want to ask you, which 0-2 team are you hitting the panic button on?
Ooh, that's a good question.
If you need time to think, I can go first.
0 and 2 teams that I'm gonna hit the panic button on. Um, Obviously it's the Carolina Panthers.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
I would see. I don't put the Panthers because I don't have expectations
yeah,
for them.
okay. For the ones that I had
Yeah,
expectations
like
for.
I
Okay,
thought the Panthers would
okay.
be fine, but like if they're gonna go 2-15 again, I'm like, oh, all right, well, I
Um,
guess
I mean, of the ones that the Jags, I guess,
Jags are a good one.
because I think I had them as my seventh seed, so like
And they're playing the
not very
Bills in
high.
Buffalo this week.
Yeah, I didn't have really high expectations for them. I had them going second in their division, at at like 10-7, 9-8. I can't remember. I think it was probably like 10-7. Um, yeah, dude, Trevor Lawrence, he just hasn't looked great in these last, the ending of last season, and then going into this season, they're 0-2. He got his big money. Like you said, they're about to play Buffalo now, so there's a good chance they could be 0-3, and I don't think they're good enough to overcome that. The AFC is too deep.
They're not good
Um,
enough to overcome it in the division they are now in, where the Texans
yeah,
are obviously good. Now, granted, the Colts and the Titans are also both 0-2, so like,
yeah. The Colts are a little inconsistent, I think, and then the Titans just Will Levis. At some point, I think he's just gonna ruin the game, for like off of some idiotic play. So yeah, I would have to go Jags. It starts with the quarterback, man, and they need to get this fixed.
the Jags are a great pick. I'm gonna stick in the same division. I'm gonna go the Colts. I had the Colts winning this division, and the further along we go, the more I'm just not sure they're good enough to do it.
I
Um,
think it'll be. I think it's gonna be a roller coaster ride. Like
yeah.
Anthony Richardson's gonna give us those wild plays. He's gonna throw it 50 yards or whatever, and he's gonna score. We're gonna be like, oh my god! But then you were gonna get a game like we had with the Packers, where it's like he's a little inconsistent. It's not like when the chips aren't falling where they need to be. Like, what is that gonna look like? And we got a preview of it in Green Bay.
Well, I also like this defense does not look very good either. I just let like I'm really close. I know 2 weeks. I'm trying to not way overreact, but like I'm pretty close to already saying they're not going to win this division. Like I think it's going to
Smarter
be.
people would have not picked them.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a gamble on my end, but like I'm already there. But I'm getting to the point where I don't know if they're going to be able to make the playoffs. I don't know if it's all there yet for them. I don't know if Anthony Richardson is there yet. This defense doesn't feel there yet. Shane Steichen, I think Shane Steichen's a really good coach, and I have a lot of confidence in him. But he made a couple questionable decisions that really made me scratch my head against the Packers. Gus Bradley as a defensive coordinator does not inspire hope. Yeah, the Colts are just doing a lot of stuff I'm not too confident in. I do want to ask. I feel like the elephant in the room when we talk about these 0-2 teams, it's got to be the Ravens. Um,
Yeah,
the Bengals. I know they're 0-2, but they seem to do this
it's
every
been
year.
yeah, it's
So
been
it
there,
is what
done
it
that.
is. And they're at to, this week they have a game against Washington. They should win. They have a game against the Panthers. They should win. So I think we expect this team to be 2-2 in the next couple weeks. The Ravens, they're 0-2.
Playing the Cowboys.
They're playing the Cowboys in Dallas this week, which I think they will
This is a
probably
big
win.
game.
I think they'll probably win, but
The
like,
Ravens?
yeah, but it's obviously on the board they lose this game.
Yeah.
Like, are we panicked about the Ravens at this point?
I if they lose, what does their schedule look like? Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I know it's kind of.
Uh,
So they got the Cowboys this week. They got the
yeah.
Bills after, and then they got
Then
the
the
they
Bengals.
yeah, Bengals, Commanders,
They beat the
Bucks,
Bengals
Browns.
usually.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's still like that's not a gibby. Like
No,
that's
it's
still a
not.
tough.
No, it's not. They do get they should beat the Browns. They should beat the Bucks. I mean, who knows about the Bucks? Bucks are a competent team too this year.
Yeah.
The Commanders, the Broncos, those are winnable games for them. But Steelers, back-to-back games against the Steelers on the road, Chargers on the road. They host the Eagles, which I think they can take care of the Eagles, and then the Giants. But I mean, they end with the Steelers, Texans, and Browns. Like, it's not an easy schedule.
They have to. They gotta at least go 2-1 in this stretch.
Get them at 2-3, yeah.
That's three good teams. You got three good teams back to back to back. I mean, two of them on the road, and then you got a home against the Bills. I mean, you have to go 2-1. So if they go 1-3 or 0-3 in that stretch,
And they're 0-5. That's an
they're
0-5 football
0-5.
team.
And they're 0-5. They're not coming back. That margin of error is just too big of a gap to overcome. So I mean, this is a must win for them. It to get their season back on track. But I won't say it's over if they go 0-3. But I mean, then that makes this game against the Sunday night game versus the Bills even more impactful.
Yeah.
And if
I
you
agree.
go if you go 0-4, if they're 0-4 and we're talking about this going into that Bengals game, then I'm like, yeah, I am fully panicked. I mean, it just and then we got to question everything they did in the offseason.
Yeah.
Leaving coaches, not trading their linemen away, not signing one, bringing in Derrick Henry. I know the coaching changes, like that's something you really can't control, but I mean it kind of makes you like you wonder. It's like, okay, well, did they really have a good offseason?
I mean, I don't think they did. Like, I
It
think
was okay.
I think this offseason was, last year was kind of the year it added all up together for them, and they didn't take
Yeah.
advantage. This year, like, I don't think there was any. You can't always blame a team for getting worse. Like, it's inevitable. Like, you have to shed talent. You lose a coordinator. Like, you can't just keep getting better and better every year. Sometimes, some off seasons, it's just you try to mitigate the losses. But,
Yeah.
3-loss offensive linemen, they've struggled offensive lineman wise. Defensively, they lost personnel. Their defensive coordinator's new, and he's, you hope just still learning the ropes. He could just not be cut out to be at this level. Yeah, we don't know. It's still very, very early. That signing of Derrick Henry that you mentioned, like, there's a really good chance that we kind of look at that at the end of the year and go, yeah, signing an older running back when you lost all your offensive linemen probably wasn't the move, even though we all were pretty big fans of it at the beginning of the year. So, yeah, it's tough for Baltimore. Again, I think they will probably beat the Cowboys, but it's on the board they lose. And, yeah, as you said, I agree exactly with what you said. If they have to go now into week 4 at 0-3 and they're playing the Bills in a primetime game, that's not a spot I want to be in. That's a terrifying spot. The last team I want to talk about, the Rams.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, this one's tough. Because I do think the Rams are good. I think they just, you play the Lions week 1 in Detroit. That sucks. I don't think you really have an excuse for getting blown out by the Cardinals.
I don't care who all you're missing. You can't get blown out like that.
Yeah, but even then, like, they are but now they have a lot of injuries. Puka Nakua's out, Cooper Kupp's out, and now they have to go play the 49ers, who are coming off a loss, are dealing with their own injuries, but, like, man, it is the Rams fall down 0-3. I mean, it's on the board. Like, is their season over at that point? You fall down 0-3, especially in this division. I mean,
I
where
think
the Seahawks look good, the Niners look like they're going to be the Niners, and the Cardinals look like the best. Like, I had the Rams as the best team in this stacked division. It feels on the board that this team might actually be the bottom feeder of this division this year. Like, they play
crazy to think.
I mean, Rams. They go on the road the next week against the Bears, which they should win, but that's iffy. Then they go play the Packers.
Okay.
Raiders are they'll probably beat that team. But then the Vikings, Seahawks, Dolphins, assuming Tua's back by then.
Tua should be back.
They got to play the Eagles, which is obviously a difficult game. On the road against the Saints. Who knows what the Saints will be in December. Bills, Niners again. They play the Jets, Cardinals, and Seahawks. I mean, like, there's like 3 gimmies on this schedule for the Rams. Mm-hmm. Like, you cannot be. It's. I am officially worried about the Rams as well.
They need to stay afloat and then once they get back healthy, if they can stay afloat, when they get all their Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, and once they get those guys back, then I think they can make a late season push. We'll see though.
All right. Well, with that, Christian, I guess I guess I'll just do my apology to the Saints. I guess we'll just do that really quick just to get it out of the way. All right, New Orleans, look, this is only the second time ever on this podcast we've done this. First one came several years ago for the Bengals. I was down on the Bengals all off season, did not believe in them, had all these reasons why they were going to regress, and they went back to the NFC Championship. AFC Championship, yeah. I was wrong. I was wrong, New Orleans. I had y'all as the worst team in football, and then last week when you beat the Panthers, I said, all right, maybe you're a 6-win team. I think
they could still be. I don't know.
Nah, I think they're the best team in this division. I think they're gonna win this division.
We'll see what the Bucks do. Bucks 2-0.
Nah.
Bucks
feel fugazi, dude. This maybe
going into Detroit, getting a win there.
Maybe,
but
the Lions haven't looked good. Like the Lions, even against the Rams, they looked iffy. Like some looks a little off with the. I saw stuff against that Saints team on Sunday that I was like, oh.
You big believer in Clint Kubiak?
I am a big believer in Clint.
I mean, he got the number one offense.
Did you hear what Micah Parsons said after that game?
What did he say?
He said it felt like he was in a maze. That's one of the best defensive players in the league, who we think of as a pretty heady player in Micah. He said it was like being in a maze. That's terrifying. That is scary. And we know their defense is good. They have good defensive personnel. Tom Brady would not stop talking about it on the broadcast, how good their defense is. And like you watch them like they
he never beat them.
Yeah. Well, like they're just really good at like, and this is what their defense has been forever under Dennis Allen, even when he was their coordinator. Their defense makes you earn everything. I mean, there's no easy yards, no easy plays against them. Like if you want to go score on us, you're gonna have to have the ball for 7-8 minutes and put a 10-play drive together. And even then, you might not score a touchdown because we're probably gonna hold you in the red zone. And that's what they did to the Cowboys. Like their offense, now that their offense is explosive, now that they have all this motion, now that they have these playmakers, it's like you're up and you're like, man, we're down 14-3 halfway through the first quarter. And every single time the offense has to go out there, you're just like, it's about to be a struggle. It is about to be a struggle to score against this defense. So, look, if the Saints can keep this up, I'll be a believer in the Saints. I'll be cheerleading for them because that's pretty cool. Like, just watching them is a lot of fun when it's not your team getting destroyed. But, dude, I think they're at minimum a playoff team. Like, if they don't make the playoffs this year, I will be beyond shocked at this point because you look at the company they're in with how many points they're scoring right now. in a time where in a weird time now where nobody is scoring a lot of points and they just went into Dallas and did that to that defense. Like the other teams that have done this have won the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not there yet. But I would be shocked if they don't make the playoffs. So New Orleans, hats off to you. You know, I shat on you all off season. I did not. You know, people are like, "What about Clint Kubiak?" I'm like, I don't give a shit about Clint Kubiak. You think I give a shit? Yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong. Like I was dead wrong. So, congrats to y'all. I'm happy for your fan base. Y'all definitely deserve to beat us. And I'm sure you take satisfaction in the fact that I was sitting on my couch in my Michael Parsons jersey, just sad, just a sad ass sitting on that couch, slumped over, just borderline crying at my TV. Just why can't we stop him? You know, it was sad. So, congrats to y'all. That's my apology, Christian. Do you have anybody you want to apologize to?
Um, not in particular. I'm not apologizing to the Jets anytime soon.
They up 14-0 right now.
I don't care.
Yeah, fair.
I don't care.
Fair.
I ain't apologizing to the Jets whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's whatever.
Well, we can move on. So, Christian, it's time. We've put week 2 to bed. It's time to talk week 3. We got your tiers, we got my bets, and we got our predictions. So, Christian, I'll let you take it away. We're gonna do your bets. We're gonna do your tiers. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna pull it up right there. All right, Christian. That is the tier list. I'm sorry we don't have the cool effects where we can like unveil them as we go above. So you kind of just have to, viewers, you can just kind of see it all. So, but yeah, Christian, go ahead, take it away.
Nothing much has changed at the top and then at the bottom as well. But we start at the bottom here. At the bottom next season, same old, same old. It's the Giants and the Panthers. I will say I like the Giants way more than the Panthers. Daniel Jones looked pretty good looked pretty good against the Commanders. Malik Neighbors look like they got their guy there, so good for them. Like I said, Carolina just benched uh, Bryce Young and starting Andy Dalton, so we'll see how they look in week 3. They got who are they playing? They're playing the Raiders on the road, so we'll see how the Panthers look there. Moving on up to the next tier, we got. I need to pick it up. They need to pick it up. And it's 3 teams here. You got the Denver Broncos, the Tennessee Titans, and the Chicago Bears. Tennessee and the Broncos both 0-2. Bo Nix looking pretty rough out there. Doesn't seem like he knows what's going on there. He's making a lot of rookie mistakes. And then Will Levis just costly turnovers at the wrong time, at the absolute worst time imaginable. So there, and then Chicago, 1-1. But Caleb Williams is yet to still score a touchdown. He's doing okay. He's been in these last 2 games. He won the first one, against Tennessee. But yeah, they just need to pick it up. So hopefully, I think Chicago can get a little better. I do like their defense. I did like at least what I saw in the first half with Chicago. I know he didn't finish It didn't finish those drives, but yeah. Moving on, I got in the next tier above them. I got the Feisties. Jacksonville's there. I still don't want to give up on them just yet, but they are 0-2. Could get uglier.
You're pretty low for not giving up on them.
I'm not yet, but they are low. They are
Commanders.
Hey, Commanders got that win. They got the first win. Hey, you gotta get a win first.
Single touchdown and got that win.
They got that win. Yeah, Patriots feisty. Took the Patriots to overtime. Beat the Bengals. They are down. Well, they got a field goal with the ball back. We'll see what happens here. They could be. They could make it a game here in the second half. but they're down 3-14. Raiders, getting their first win, coming back on the Ravens. It's just what the Ravens do. It's a 2 possession lead, and it's just not safe. But shout out Gardner Minshew getting that win, and the Jags. I'm not giving up on them just yet, but they are. I'm hovering over that panic button. I'm hovering over it. And also, I did not know where to put the Jags. I didn't want to put. I think it probably going to need to pick them up. All right, we're moving the Jags down.
Oh
Moving the
no!
Jags down.
Oh no!
Jags.
Real time.
I can't move them down, but they should go down.
Dang.
Putting the Jags in and need to pick it up. And then a tier above them, I got the baby's first win. Look at you, Cardinals, the Commanders, and the Jets. All looked pretty solid, honestly. Jane Daniels looked good. Kyler Murray was like, all right, y'all said I'm not going to throw to Marvin Harrison. Watch this. And Marvin Harrison had a great first half. And then the Jets, it's nice, I guess, to see Aaron Rodgers win a game. Uh,
Against the
don't be
Titans.
against the Titans, obviously. So and they're beating the Patriots right now. So um,
Moving them up
yeah,
in real time.
they could be moving. They might be. We'll see. They gotta win this one. Just above them, I got the season could be over. Just one team. My team, it's the Dolphins. Tua is on IR, so he has to miss a minimum of 4 games, which means I think the game he can come back in technically, because I think we have a bye in
Oh,
the
that's
middle of
helpful.
it.
Yeah. So
For
you have the Seahawks. You play
so the
the Dolphins,
Cardinals,
the
he can come back,
Patriots,
and
and
then we
then
have
he
a
can come back. He can
bye.
come back for the Colts. Is it 4? It's 4 weeks, so he can come back
No,
against.
I thought it was 4 games.
Oh,
I don't know. I thought it was 4 games on IR.
I
So I
was.
thought he could come back versus either the Colts or the Cardinals. I don't know. I'm pretty scared for Tua,
Miss a
honestly.
minimum of 4 games.
Yeah. So
Dang, that's dumb.
yeah, right. We got to buy in the middle of that, and he can't play. So we'll see how it goes. Skylar Thompson, we traded for, or no, we signed Tyler Huntley from practice squad. So we will see how that goes. Hopefully, we can stay afloat. But we'll see. Um, we'll see if Mike McDaniel's is that offensive genius that we've put him on the. See if he can actually, still sit on that pedestal we put him on. Um, just above them, I got the McDonald's ice cream machine. If you don't know what that means, is it's inconsistent. You go there maybe early in the morning, oh, it don't work. Go there late at night, it could be on, it could not be on, and it's just the Colts and the Browns. You know, Colts are 0-2, Browns are 1-1, but it's gonna be inconsistent. I don't know about Anthony Richardson. Shane Steichen had that questionable some questionable play calls in that Packers game, and then the Browns, Deshaun Watson. Like you said, Jake, they didn't really want to win that game, but they kind of were just the last ones to have ball, and they pulled it out. So, but I'm still not entirely a fan of what's going on of Deshaun Watson. So, um, just above that tier, I got the NFC South is better than I thought,
Yeah,
and
they are, dude. They are better than we thought.
yeah, the Falcons getting that Monday night win, which I don't know why they did get that win, but they did. They pulled it out. Good luck for them. But I really like this defense. As I said, I think if they could get some rhythm on offense, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, I like Drake London. Kyle Pitts, I think is okay. Um, but I like what they got. And then Ray McLeod, he was really showing out against the Eagles. So, um,
It's not hard
I,
to do that though.
I mean, so I like the Falcons. So if they can pick it up on offense, I think they'll not make the Super Bowl, but I think they could be a really tough team to play. The Bucks 2-0 going into Detroit. Baker Mayfield's been playing really well, really good football in these past 2 weeks. And
That's
and he went into Detroit and beat them. So and got some revenge on the divisional game. So I like what the Bucks are doing right there. And then who would have thought the Minnesota Vikings are 2-0?
Not in the
But
NFC South, but they have that NFC South vibe.
they have that NFC South vibe, at least at the beginning of the season with JJ McCarthy going out. But Sam Darnold out here cooking right now, and he got the Minnesota Vikings to 2-0. So let's go, Skull Nation out there.
Skull.
Uh, Jay, I don't know if you know about this meme. I think it's a meme on like TikTok, but it's girl who is going to be okay. And it's like this
No,
girl
I'm
who's
not
like
familiar.
she's like drinking coffee, and then it's like she's gonna be okay, because he has like a drink of coffee and she's somewhere, whatever. That's the Packers, the Chargers, and the Steelers. As I said before, I like Matt LaFleur. I think he's a really good coach. Had not a pretty win against the Colts, but hey, a win's a win's a win. Got their first win, so I think they will be okay. As we can, they're gonna run the ball, and hopefully they don't have to rely on their defense that much. If they're, you can't, your defense can't lose you the game if your offense holds the ball for, you know, 10, 15 minutes of possession. So, and then the Chargers 2-0. Justin Herbert's not doing much at all, but J.K. Dobbins out here carrying the load. I think leading the league in rushing right now.
Yeah, I can double check that.
Uh,
Yeah, he is
we
266 yards. Jordan Mason, number 2.
number two. So yeah, this is what John Harbaugh wants to do.
No, no, it's Jim. It's Jim.
Dude, I'm really like thinking about it. Like every time, like
You're overthinking it now.
I really am.
It's just wrecking your brain.
It really is. And then the Steelers don't know how long they'll stay up this high, but they're 2-0 right now. I don't know what to. If you would have told me
this week,
yeah, so one of them's gonna be 3-0. That's crazy. And then I'm gonna stick by him. Just above this tier. I got the Ravens, Cowboys, Bengals, Eagles, and Rams. I'm gonna stick by all of these teams. Now, Ravens, tough game up here against the Cowboys. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how they look after that. Bengals, I think that was a good wake up call versus the Chiefs. As we said, they got the Commanders on Monday night. This should be a winnable game, but it could still be challenging. Jay McDaniel, he's a tough cookie. But in the Eagles, I think they'll be okay. I think it's funny how Vic Fangio, they were hyping up Vic Fangio coming to be their defensive coordinator, and crazy how 2-minute situation at the end of the game, his defense is not stopping anyone. Looks familiar. Say like it sounds familiar if you were a Dolphins fan. So we'll see how that goes. And then the Rams 0-2. Tough overtime game against the Lions week 1, and then just getting mollywopped in week 2. I know you have all your injuries, but hey man, you can't get slapped around by a division opponent like that, bro. But you gotta step it up. But I'm gonna stick by him just for right now. And then I got this next tier above. I got the needed to move down. These teams needed to move down. Oh, well, I could have moved the Bills up, actually.
I 2-0.
Yeah, I should have moved the Bills. I don't know why the Bills. I don't know why. I should move the Bills up, actually. So needed to move down, and it's just supposed to be the 49ers and the Lions. Both lost not pretty bad losses. I would say the 49ers loss was way worse than the Lions loss, because they just can't beat Minnesota for some reason. In Minnesota, and then the Lions, tough game. Aiden Hutchinson had a phenomenal game on defense. I think he almost not broke it, but tied their single game sack leader. I think he had like 4.5. I think the record was 5.5. Yeah, and then playing good football. I got the Texans, the Seahawks, the Saints, and the Bills. All these teams are 2-0, and I like every one of them. CJ Stroud's picking up where he left off. They're 2-0. Offense looks great. I like their defense. Same goes with the Seahawks and the Saints and the Bills. Offensively, I think they're playing pretty well. The Saints, especially, averaging 45.5 points in the first 2 weeks is insane. I don't know when the last time that happened, but yeah, they're all playing solid defensively and they're playing really good offensive football there. And then again, as everyone's number one team, it should always be the Chiefs. They're 2-0. Interesting game. Sunday night. They're playing the Falcons on the
Yeah.
road. That's an interesting game.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, for sure. All
And that's
right.
the tiers.
That's a pretty good tier list. I understand you can't take the Chiefs down. I mean, you just can't.
They probably should.
I mean, well, but who are you putting above them? I don't know.
Right? Yeah. The
Like,
Saints,
Yeah.
that's just purely off. The Saints are just scoring a lot of
I
points.
mean, until further proven, even losing Isaiah Pacheco, it feels like the Chiefs offense is going to still struggle a little bit. This defense seems a little more susceptible. But I'm not. They're 2-0. Like I'm not about to tell you need to take them down and put them in a lower tier. I would probably move the Seahawks down. I don't know if I'd have the Seahawks that high. Maybe like a tier. Honestly, so Colin Cowherd had the Chargers as his third best team in the league. I don't think they're that high, but
No.
if the Chargers played the Ravens, the Cowboys, the Bengals, the Eagles, or the Rams, I think the Chargers probably beat all those teams right now. I think they're just playing better football than all five of them, so I may do that. Kind of switch those. I would also probably put the Vikings higher.
Really?
They're playing so well. I mean, they just beat.
They're playing well, but I'm like, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
You know?
Fair.
Like they played the Giants, and then, I mean, they beat the 49ers for some reason at home. That's just what they do.
Yeah, no, I feel it. I think the Bears also deserve to be higher than the Raiders, but the Raiders did just beat the Ravens in Baltimore. So I can't sit here and tell you they deserve that. So it is what it is. But no, I mean, I think overall pretty good tier list. I like a lot of the categories, and I do agree with the general sentiment about a lot of these teams. I'm glad you have the Saints as high as you do because I do think what we're seeing is probably real to some degree. This team goes 9-8 last year with it feels like everything on fire, and so it's okay, what if we took the Saints, but things were clicking? It's oh,
this is a really good team.
They're gonna win 12 games then. So yeah. All right.
Their division isn't crazy insane.
No, but it's better than we thought. All right, Christian. Well, it's time. Let's get into Jake's bets, huh?
Jake's bets.
All right. We got some housekeeping to do.
Yep.
First off, we got to talk about last week. Last week was tough. I came into the podcast very sad, very down, because I did not have any read or feel on the games. I didn't know where to go, and the record showed it. I went 1-4. Went 1-4. Had one of the worst weeks I've had in basically almost a year.
I got my first one.
Love that. Yeah, good stuff.
Browns +3, but I got a push on Houston -6.
So you're two. So now you're 2 bets behind again. So you gotta make that up. So
I'm 1-0 and 2. 1-0 and 2.
But we don't do pushes here. We make up the pushes.
I keep adding homework. I keep adding homework. Hey, you have not lost money if you listen to me.
You haven't. You've gotten your money back. You've made a little bit. You're one bet. You're 1-0 on your bets, and the rest of it you've just made your money back. So, all right, really quick, let's talk about these games. So, off the rip, there were 2 games I bet in my 5 that should not have been in there. just should not have been. They were bad bets, and I recognize that now. Panthers +6 or 5 or whatever they were.
Don't do it.
Should
Well,
not.
now that Andy's back, now that Andy, they got a quarterback.
I flirted with it. That's not going to be in my 5 this week either.
Let's see what they look like.
Not doing it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a trend that says backup quarterbacks starting actually get like a boost, and because everybody kind of focuses in a little bit, you have to scheme new quarterback. You don't know exactly what that'll look like, so there's actually reason to suspect like when you have a backup quarterback come in, it's actually better for the team.
It's backup that has been a starter.
It backup. It's just the trend just tracks backups. You could probably go look that up too. I'm sure that that stat exists somewhere, but I don't know what it is. But yeah, Panthers, Chargers should not have even been in the bets. Should have just. I got too. What do you call enamored with the trend of betting big home underdogs and knowing like, well, if I have to bet them every time, because if you don't, you know, if that trend is 55%, you have to bet it every time to hit that number. You can't pick and choose which ones you do and don't want to bet in that. But what you can do is just not bet the Panthers. You can just not bet the Panthers, and you'd be fine. Because, like, I can do that trend every single time and hit that 55% or whatever. But if I bet the Panthers and go 2-6 on the Panthers, I would have just been better off not betting the Panthers. So we just stay away from the Panthers. That's just the exception to the rule. We just won't bet the Panthers for now until further notice. So that game should not have been in the bets. The Cowboys should not have been in the bets. That was me betting that game like it was 2023. Yeah, last year would have been a great bet. Probably would have covered, would have been good, awesome stuff. Cowboys would have probably won by 15 points or whatever. No. This is a new year. The Cowboys are not the same team. The Saints are not the same team. I'm not saying I should have bet the Saints +6. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I should have probably stayed away from it. Because we did not have there was no reason to believe that the Cowboys were going to come in at home and do what they've done the past 2 years. Like, there's no reason to think that. So that's just on me for betting a game like it was 2023. I should have been smarter. Lesson learned. Giants at Commanders was another miss. This was a good bet. That was a good bet. I didn't hit, which some people say you can't have a good bet if you don't hit. I disagree. It was a good bet. And in a good week, I go 3-2. If that's one of the two that I lose, that's awesome. That's exactly one of the two you want to lose. The Giants were in control of that game almost the whole time. They didn't give up a touchdown defensively. They scored 3 touchdowns. The only reason they lost that game is because Graham Gano got hurt, and they had to go for 2 points every time they scored. And it was 4th down at the end of the game, and they're in field goal range. They can't kick a field goal, so they got to go for it, and Malik Neighbors drops the ball on 4th down. Commanders go drive down the field and kick their 7th field goal of the game.
Yeah, they're kicking on fantasy. You were great.
So, you know, that's a good bet.
Yeah, that was just weird. That was just weird.
Like, I would bet that again. I don't regret that. I lost it. I don't regret that bet. That is a bet on a 3-2 week. That's one of the two you lose. You feel good. But when you pair it with 2 bets that you shouldn't have made, it makes it worse. So I can live with that bet. The Broncos were the 4th one I missed. I bet them +2.5 in my 5.
Told you.
This one I don't know what to make of it because I was following the advice of the pros, and part of me is like, well, you can't just blindly follow the advice of the pros, but it was like so overwhelming. Like the professional bettors loved this. And so it kind of talked me into it, even though I wasn't feeling great about it. And again, it's easy to be like, well, you know, you shouldn't do that unless you're feeling confident. But like, if I had put the Vikings in, I didn't feel great about the Vikings, but all the pros were on the Vikings, and they were right. So, you know, I don't really know what the lesson is there. Probably just maybe stay away from it next time, but it just didn't work out, so whatever. And then the one I got right was the Bengals +6. Exactly what I thought it was going to be.
The games
I don't know.
Always within 1 point.
It was
or 3 points.
So suspicious. Like, mine at +6, I'm like, what am I missing? What do I not know? What does Vegas know that I don't? Why is the line like this? This is like going to be a field goal or less. It always is. And then it was a field goal or less. And it's like, okay, I don't know. I don't know what that was. It was bizarre. But that was the one we got right. So I've learned some lessons. It's early in the year. We're going to try to carry that over, and we're going to go into week 3. Now, I will say I feel pretty good about this week. I like the bets I have. I've narrowed it down to about 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
I have 5. I'm pretty sure I'm going to stick with these, but I could switch 1 or 2 of them out, maybe. I have about 3 that I'm steadfast on that are in no matter what. So, really quick, just to preview it, I want to give some trends. Just talk about some things that you want to keep an eye out in this kind of week. So, what you want in this is you want to look for teams that are 0-2 and are desperate. And that are underdogs, and you want to be betting them, especially if they're bigger underdogs, because those are typically the ones that cover. Everybody knows what happens when you get 0-3. Your season is very, very close to teetering. So you want 0-2 teams that are big underdogs, and that is what's going to cover. So that was kind of the trend and the theme I was going with in this week. So let's go ahead and get through these. To start, I'm going to take the Broncos plus 6.5.
I didn't think you were going to say the Broncos. I thought you were done.
No, I wasn't done with the Broncos. I didn't feel good about that bet last week. I was like, y'all really like the Broncos? All right, no, I'm not. I actually like the Broncos in this one.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Bucks in Tampa Bay.
Bucks. Plus 6.5 or 7? Is it plus 7?
It's plus 6.5. I'm using ESPN lines also.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm looking at.
Now, I feel good about this. I think the Bucks defense is beat to hell. I'm kind of waiting for the Bucks to kind of regress a little bit.
I don't think it's going to be this week.
Maybe. The place you get caught, obviously, with this one, though, is if the Broncos just can't score in the red zone, like we've seen, and they're settling for field goals. Like, there's a very plausible reality. It is like 27-13. And even a backdoor touchdown, a garbage time touchdown at the end doesn't cover for you if you're the Broncos. So, like, that is a very real possibility here. But I think 6.5 is a lot. I'm going to just trust the number, and I'm going to trust that the Broncos do it. I will say this. This is one of the 2 that I'm iffy on and could end up not being put in depending on how I feel on, I guess, tomorrow or Saturday. But Broncos plus 6.5. This one's nasty. This is gross. But this is a lock. This one is staying in. Giants plus 6.5 against the Browns.
Oh?
In Cleveland.
On the road.
Look, I don't think. I'm not saying the Giants will win this game, but like.
No, you just need them.
This feels a lot like that Bengals-Chiefs game last week. In what world are the Browns 7 points better, a touchdown better than the Giants? What have we seen from the Browns that
Okay.
They were horrible against the Cowboys, and they basically did everything they could to lose to an 0-2 Jaguars team, like at home or they were on the road that game. But like I'm not saying the Giants are going to win this game. I probably won't pick the Giants to win this game, but a touchdown, like this is all the professional bettors are betting the under on this game. Which tells you this is going to be a low-scoring game. So
39.5. 39.5, so yeah.
You're telling me this is a low-scoring game with one of the teams getting a touchdown? Like,
Suspicious.
I don't trust Daniel Jones against that Browns defensive line, but I also don't trust Deshaun Watson against the Giants defensive line. Like, I think both quarterbacks are going to struggle all game long. This is like a 17-13 game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. 6.5 is way too many points. So I think the value is on the Giants. That's what I'm really looking for is the value. So I'm going to go Giants plus 6.5.
Okay.
Another one that. This is the other one that could get changed out.
Tennessee's favored?
Yeah.
That's great.
A lot of pros are on the Titans this week.
What?
Yeah.
What?
A lot of professionals are on the Titans this week. They are a professional darling this week.
Really?
Yeah, I am not a fan. I'm not going there. I'm not gross.
That's ridiculous.
This one, I
That's
liked
ridiculous.
earlier today, but the line has moved a little bit against me. So this one very well could change out. The Rams plus 6.5 against the 49ers.
Oh, division game.
It was 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was 7. And I was like, okay. And now it's 6.5. So
Why
it's
is it
moved,
moving like that?
I guess, because there's a lot of money coming in on the Rams. That's my
Mm.
guess. But I don't look a lot. Everything, near basically everything tells you need to bet the Rams here. You're getting an 0-2 team. You're getting a pretty good 0-2 team in the Rams. I think we think the Rams generally are pretty good. They're at home. They're getting a bunch of points against a division rival.
Well,
They're
isn't Kyle Shanahan not undefeated versus Sean
no,
McVay,
but
but he's pretty.
look, I'm not picking the Rams to win this game.
Oh, okay.
I'm
My
not
bad.
picking them to win this game. But I think the Rams are coming off a blowout. They're at home against a division rival, getting a bunch of points, and they're 0-2. Like all of and the 49ers are banged up. They're missing Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. So all of those trends point to the Rams, except the elephant in the room, which is the Rams' injuries. The Rams, it's how are they going to score now? I get it, and I'm very concerned, and it's a big reason why I'm teetering on this one. But if Gerard Mayo and Jacoby Brissett can drum up some offense and beat the Bengals, I feel like Sean McVay and Matt Stafford can find some offense and score just enough to stay relevant in this game. I think the 49ers will probably win this game like 24-20, but I think that covers. So, again, this one is one of the two that could end up not going in, but I do like the Rams tentatively, though the line movement as of today is making me a little iffy. So that's 3?
Yep.
Yeah, that's 3. All right. All right, these next two I love. I love these next two. These two are locks. Let's go over to the Texans and the Vikings. Texans going to the Vikings. Vikings getting 2 points. Give me the Vikings. Give me the Vikings.
+2.
Plus
Okay.
2. I
Okay.
love the Vikings in this spot. It's a little bit of a gamble. I mean, I guess that's what we're doing here. But
They are at home.
at home, this is another trend that's kind of weird. So this is 2-0
Is
teams.
Justin Jefferson?
That's a big question. Is if Justin Jefferson is going to be able to be healthy? I'm going to
He's
check his update.
questionable.
Yeah, he's
I
for
think
sure
he.
playing against the Texans. That's
Oh,
what
okay.
he said. So that's good. So, but I just like the Vikings in this spot. I have a good feeling about them. They're at home. They're getting points. I like what I'm seeing from them. The Texans have been good, not great. I also think there's a trend I heard when you have a 2-0 team playing a 2-0 team, the underdog of those matchups covers like a lot, especially if they're at home. They cover a lot too. So
And it's pretty split, only 2 points. So it's
yeah. So I like the Vikings here to win outright. I think they're going to surprise the NFL world, and I think they're going to be 3-0 with wins over the Texans in the next game. So, I like the Vikings here. That's a lock. That is going in. That is going in the bets. And then my last one, and this one's my favorite one of the week. Now, I have to warn you, the professionals are not on my side. The professionals are betting against me in this one, and I think they're dead effing wrong. I think they're dead wrong. Philadelphia Eagles and the New Orleans Saints.
okay.
Eagles getting 2.5 in New Orleans.
In New Orleans on the road.
Give me the Saints. Give me the Saints.
Give them the Saints.
Give me
The Saints come marching in.
So I'll start off with the negative, and I'll go into why I believe in it. The negative. There is a very, very popular betting trend. It's one of the craziest trends ever, but it's talked about a lot. When you have a team that opens up as an underdog and they move over the course of the week into being the favorite, they do not cover. They do not cover like 60% of the time.
That's
That is
crazy.
what the Saints are. The Saints, when this opened up on Monday, the Saints were 2.5-point underdogs at home. So all the professionals came in and bet the shit out of it. And then the Eagles lost on Monday. So Vegas flipped the line. Has basically, over the course of the past several days, flipped the line. So it was plus 2.5 Saints, now it's minus 2.5 Saints. So the Saints have gone from an underdog to a favorite, which means you should bet against them, which a lot of the professionals are doing. A lot of the professionals came in on the Saints at +2, and now they're coming in on the Eagles plus 2.5. So, but let me explain. First off, I want to explain why I think that happens. And this is just my theory. Nobody ever explains why the trends happen. They just kind of know what the trends are. You know, nobody ever talks about why this happens, though. I think the reason this happens, the why those dogs that move to favorites don't cover, is because you have a team that Vegas calculates as, oh, that's an underdog. They're supposed to lose this game. And then for whatever reason, an overreaction, an injury, what have you, everybody comes in and bets that underdog. And Vegas, to balance out their books, goes, well, we have to make them a favorite now to deter people from putting so much more money on them. And so that team becomes an underdog or becomes a favorite, when in reality, the original calculation Vegas had was correct, and that they were underdogs and should have been underdogs, and they lost the game because they weren't as good as the other team. That's my theory. Does that make sense?
Somewhat.
I think when a team moves from dog to favorite, it's because of an overreaction generally, and that team should have actually been an underdog because they were the worst team. That's my theory. But I don't think that applies here. And the reason I don't think it applies is because I think the Saints are actually good. I think they're actually good. I don't think this is an underdog that is being falsely promoted as a favorite. I think they are not only a good team, I think they're a better team than the Eagles, at least right now. I mean, let me put it this way. What do the Eagles do well that they can attack the Saints with? Maybe they can run the ball. Saquon could run the ball. Yeah, that could be a problem. Maybe we'll see. They can't pass the ball. A.J. Brown's out, so that's totally changing how their passing game's going to work. And that defense, I don't think that defense is going to be able to stop this offense. That defense is bad. Their pass rush isn't even good anymore. So I look across the board, and I don't see anything the Eagles can do outside of maybe running the ball somewhat to disrupt what the Saints want to do, especially at home. The other thing I'll say is this. Christian, I want to ask you this. Falcons and Saints, okay? You're building a football team. Would you rather have the Falcons, as with what we know right now, on September 19th, a week before your birthday?
Oh, well, my birthday. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. My bad.
You good? You forgot when your birthday was?
Well, I was thinking my dad's birthday. I was like, my dad's birthday is tomorrow. So, I was like in that mode.
No, your birthday is a week from today, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool, yeah.
Next Thursday.
So, as we stand today, a week from your birthday, Christian, would you rather have the Falcons offense or the Saints offense?
Give me Clint Kubiak and the Falcons offensive line.
No, you got to pick.
Yeah. But since I can't do that, I will pick the Saints offense.
Would you rather have the Falcons defense or the Saints defense?
Ooh. I like both of them. I do like both of them. I guess I'll take the Saints off defense, but
Okay.
I like both of them.
No, I feel you. But you think so you think, even if it's just a little bit, the Saints are better both offensively and defensively than the Falcons?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Eagles, off extended rest at home, just lost to the Falcons. And now
they shouldn't have, but they did, yeah.
Now they're going on the road on a short week at a rest disadvantage because they played Monday night, and now they're playing the Saints, who are rolling. I understand the pros are like, well, the trend says you have to bet the Eagles, and this is a good get-right spot for the Eagles, and this is a place where the Saints might regress because they just had a big win. I get all that. If that's going to scare you off of this, I understand. it doesn't scare me off. I think the Saints are better than the Eagles, and I think the Eagles are going to lose. The Eagles might lose this game by 10 points.
Mm.
Like, not guaranteeing anything. I'm not guaranteeing it like I did last week when I said the Falcons would never have 0% chance of beating the Eagles in Philly, which I did, by the way, to jinx them. That was intentional, and it worked to a T. Anyway. Yeah, I like the Saints minus 2.5 here. So, to recap, Saints minus 2.5, Vikings plus 2, Broncos plus 6.5, Giants plus 6.5, and the Rams plus 6.5. The other one I'm eyeing, and very well may end up in the game in the 5. Jaguars plus 5 against the Bills on Monday night.
Can't stay away.
Can't stay away. So I'll do that, and then I also like the Cardinals plus 3 against the Lions, but I'm not ready to bet against the Lions yet. So those are my 5, and I guess my kicker 6th, which could end up in it, depending if how I feel about the lines on Saturday. So yeah, Christian, what are your thoughts?
I think they sound pretty solid,
Nice.
but we will see.
All right, what's your bet of the week? Are you doing 2 or 1?
2.
All right, Christian's got 2 this week. If you pick half points, you can't lose. You can't. It won't push. So something to keep in mind.
Well, I'm not gonna take that. Well, this first one, I don't think I'm gonna take advice on that one, Jake. But I'm gonna go Panthers plus 5.
You
Andy Dalton
animal.
getting the start. I think this offense can run a little bit better. I don't think everybody's poo-pooing on the Panthers. They suck and all that, but I think they have solid weapons. I just think they need a guy that can facilitate that a bit better. So if they can get a guy that comes in there and then comes and can run the offense, good enough, then I think they could. Not saying they will win the game, but I think they could be better offensively. So yeah, Panthers plus 5.
That's you're bold, Christian. You are
Really?
you are rolling. Dude, I'm so scared to bet the Panthers now. But you are rolling around with the pros because the pros are on the Panthers too.
I think they'll play better. I'm not saying they'll win the game.
They will play better.
I think, but with a legit quarterback, I know it's Andy Dalton, but hey, we saw. I'm not saying he's gonna be what's his name, Joe Flacco last year. I don't think he's gonna save this season, but I think he can play. They'll at least be functional. They'll at least have a functional offense.
You're getting the bump of a backup quarterback coming in, which is good. You're also getting a Raiders team who's coming off a big win against the Ravens, probably feeling themselves a little bit.
Like, are the Raiders that good? Yeah, like, are the Raiders really that good, or they just happen to play a team that loves blowing two possession leads late in the fourth quarter? So then I can't believe this. This is the spread, but I'm gonna go Packers plus 3.
So,
what do you mean the Titans are favored in this game?
Dude, I don't know, but I'm scared. All the pros are telling me to bet the Titans, and I'm like, I won't do it. But
okay, bet Will Levis. Go ahead. And then when he throws an interception, or he fumbles the ball, or he does a backwards pass for no goddamn reason, and then the Packers, fumble and scoop it up, then we'll see. I like Matt LaFleur. I some of the Matt. I think Matt LaFleur is a good coach.
He got some good albums.
No, he got some good albums. I know Malik. He still got Malik Willis. I get it. But Josh Jacobs, it seems like he can carry the load. They're gonna run the ball. And then they're gonna run the ball, and then they're gonna hopefully play solid defense. You're up against Will Levis, so it's not that bad. So take care of business. He has 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Just take care of business. You are the better team, Packers. You hear me? You are the better team. then this man will give you the ball. He will give up the ball. So just when that opportunity comes, make sure you take it because it's gonna be there.
So I just want to make a quick note. Jordan Love is practicing, so there is a
And
good chance. There is a well. So what I'm saying is
even better.
there's a good chance that we're gonna get to Sunday and this spread is going to be way different. It's gonna be like
Yeah,
-5 Packers or something.
yeah.
So if you're inclined to take Christian's advice, go bet that now because you want to get the +2.5 while it's there. But yeah, I mean Christian, we're gonna give even if Jordan Love starts, we're gonna give you credit on the +2.5.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my two. Panthers +5. I think they'll play better with Andy Dalton with a real quarterback behind running the offense, and then the Packers +3. Both underdogs. Both underdogs.
+2.5 or +3. I have it. I see ESPN has
It's
it +2.5.
I thought it has Titans plus. Let me
Has
refresh.
it changed since we've been doing
It's
this?
I'm looking
Oh,
at
it's
the thing.
+3 now. Oh, it moved.
Yeah, I'm seeing +3.
Dude, holy moly. Okay, all right. So you got them +3 and you got the Panthers +5. All right, bet.
Mhm.
Well, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the bets. So I'll
There's
make
the
a post. I'll make
maps.
a post either tomorrow or Saturday, locking in the final bets. I'll also mention Christian's bets in there too, um,
Thank you.
just to make sure everything's on the up and up. Christian is 1-0 with 2 pushes. I am 3-7. So a 5-0 week puts me at 8-7. Got to start climbing back up. Got to just start getting back in there. So that's what we're gonna do. So all right, that is the bets.
I am picking less games than you, so it's a lot. Your job is a lot harder than
Hey,
mine, so
I I
I
put
get
I
to look
chose it.
a little bit better.
I chose this life. So
But yeah, you could drop it down to well now you can't. Now you look like you giving up. You know, you
no,
go
I
drop
it's
down to
5
like
every week.
30.
That's what everybody does. I don't know why, but that's what everybody does. It's what everybody does. So
I mean, it's a nice five's a nice solid number.
so all right, Christian, it's time to make our weekly picks. So
Yeah,
and
looks
in
like
real time, I
my
am.
Patriots pick is not going well.
It is okay though. It is
It's
okay.
fine. I'll take the L.
So I am totaling
I mean,
up.
I was pretty confident, but I mean, hey, it happens. Divisional game, short week. Yeah, it is what it is.
Dude, I don't know if I've
Patriots.
ever started out this poorly in our predictions.
Week two was rough for me. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I went 8 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I went 8-8.
I went 5-11.
I went 8-8. Yeah. Dolphins, Cowboys, Lions, Colts, 49ers, Ravens, Rams, Eagles.
All right. So here we are. We're out here, Christian. It's time to make our picks for week 3. I'll
Mhm.
go ahead and start us off. We already did our Thursday night picks.
Yeah, looks like I'm losing out on my Patriots one, so
Looks like
I'll
I'm
take
winning
that.
that one. That's okay. All right. Let's start with the Chargers visiting the Steelers. The battle of two 2-0 teams.
Two
Justin
no teams.
Herbert banged up, maybe?
Oh, I didn't hear about
Yeah, he's
that.
got an ankle issue. Christian, I'm going to ask you one time and one time only. Who you got?
Um, Tough game. Obviously, TJ Watt is playing, so the Steelers have a really good shot to win. But Justin Fields, I'm not really in love with it right now. Um, but oh yeah, this is our home opener too. Oh wow. But I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think they'll be fine. I mean, they're not really asking much of Justin Herbert, so just hand the ball off to J.K. Dobbins, and he goes forward. He goes forward, and they're winning right now. So I'm gonna go Chargers. I think they will be the 3-0 team.
All right. I'm going the Steelers. So we're split on that one. That's cool. I really don't have a feel for this one either way. Um,
Yeah,
I'm just kind of picking the Steelers because they're at home, and I don't know what Justin Herbert's status is, so I kind of just
Pittsburgh is
I
favored right
kind of
now.
just
Only
trust
about
the
one,
Steelers right now.
only 1.5.
So that's what I got, but I don't have any conviction.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, all right, Vikings, Texans.
Another 2-0 team. Um, uh, I'm gonna do it. No, I'm gonna stick with Texans.
Bet
But I mean, the Vikings could. They've been shocking the
they
world
bet
right now.
they bet. It's one of those where like I want to believe what I'm seeing with the Vikings, but I'm also very aware that like it all could come crashing down
Yeah,
at any point. Um, but I'm going Vikings. You know, I'm going to ride with with the bet I just gave. Um,
that's fair.
so I'll go Vikings here. But you know, I mean, it's Vikings end up 2-1, split with the Texans and the 49ers, and the Texans are 3-0. Like all of those things at this point seem like that's exactly what is supposed to happen. So I just almost feel like it's a fantasy land to be like the Vikings will be 3-0 this weekend, boyos. But who knows? All
Who
right,
knows?
I feel like I made it very clear who I'm going with this one: Saints and Eagles. Christian, who are you going with?
uh, yeah, I think I'm gonna be riding with the Saints. They're at home. Score averaging 45 and a half points a game. I think Eagles. I don't know what's going on with the Eagles. Saquon looks good though,
You
but
don't know what's
without
going on with the Eagles.
well, I mean, at least I guess coaching wise, I think personnel they look fine. Defensive side, I don't think they're a general. Well, I don't know. They went up against Atlanta. Atlanta has a really good offensive line, not really generating a lot of pressure. Um, and secondary wise, they they're still kind of don't have it all together just yet. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Saints. I think they're hot right now, and I mean the Eagles could give them trouble, but we'll see. But I really like the Saints defense. They're at home, so they get their home crowd. Saints like who that nation is. They are up right now, so I imagine that stadium is going to be packed
It's a
and
tough
they're
place
going to
to
be
play.
loud. Yeah, they're going to be loud, and it's going to be. And the Saints players are feeling good. They'll be at home. They'll be sleeping in their same bed and all that stuff. So I think they'll be pretty good. But I think the Eagles could give them a run for their money, but I'm gonna still rock with the Saints. I don't know if they'll put up 40 points, but it could put up 30.
I That's exactly where I'm at, and I just don't see how the Eagles score 30 points on this defense. Not like
Yeah.
again, if AJ Brown were playing, I would not be this strong on the Saints. I would not have put the Saints. The fact that AJ Brown is out and how that just affects their entire passing operation, it just gives me no confidence that they can do what they need to do against this
I mean,
Saints
Devontae
defense.
Devontae Smith made some plays.
Devontae Smith is solid. Like I like
Made
Devontae
some
Smith,
plays.
but I don't think Devontae Smith is a one. I think he's one of the best twos in the league. But I don't think he's a one. So I'm gonna go Saints as well. Yeah, I this will be probably the biggest. This is. I don't know if there's gonna be a time where I'm a bigger Saints fan than on Sunday. I might have to buy a jersey for this game.
Let me get one real quick.
Yeah, I might have to get a Derek Carr jersey.
Car jersey. Man, dude, how? Huh, I love it. Man, at the beginning of the season, because I get Saints Twitter for some reason.
They were skeptical too. Like
They were bad. They were like, I effing hate Derek Carr, all this stuff. I can't wait. We need to start Spencer Rattler. And now look at them. They're like, oh my God, Derek Carr, I'm so sorry. I didn't recognize your game.
Me too, man. Me too. I'm in the same boat. Like, I mean, I've always liked Derek Carr, but and I do understand Derek Carr has just been surrounded by dysfunction his entire career.
He had that 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, and he broke his leg at the end of it, very unfortunately, or broke his arm. One of those. I think it was his arm. Either way, maybe it was his. And it's nice even when he goes to the Saints, he's still got that kind of instability because Dennis Allen is like they don't have a real offensive operation, and he's struggling to stay healthy. Now they have a real offensive operation. They have talent around him. It's like I had a comparison to it. where it's just like the Saints are like a picture that's like crazier the more you stare at it. Like you glance at it once and you're like whatever, and then you stare at it and you're like why is this car like floating? You know, like one of those. It's like that's what they're yeah, like that's what their
the more
offense
you look at
is.
it, you're like, oh wow, wait, this is
That's what their offense is. It's like first glance you're like whatever, and then it's like, well, you know, they got Shaheed, and I mean, you know, they got Chris Olave who's balling out, and they have a really solid running back room and Alvin Kamara and Jamison Williams, and the offensive line's actually pretty good. And you know, Derek Carr's kind of a baller, and you know, Clint Kubiak, man, he's actually been pretty good at calling play. Like it all adds up, and then on top of it, you're like, oh, and by the way, Taysom Hill's just gonna beat the shit out of you at some point. He's just gonna take a baseball bat and chase you around with it, and you're just like, I don't know how to even begin to strategize against this. So yeah, I'm really happy with what the Saints are doing. I'm
dude, like 35,
dude. It was. I can't tell you how demoralizing it was to like be sitting here and watching them just. They started out passing. We were corralling the run at the beginning, and then they start running the ball well, and you're just like, okay, now they're just doing everything well. And we can't stop them, and it's just so sad and demoralizing, and it's like everything they do is working. They average 7.7 yards a play, and then you're just like, I mean, what? How could it get any worse? And then they put Taysom Hill in, and he's just bullying our linebackers, and you're just like, I don't know, man. I don't have an answer to this. So anyway, all right, cool, Saints. How about Broncos and Buccaneers?
I got the Bucks.
I got the Broncos.
I just on the road and the Bucks are playing good, and I think his name's escaped. It's escaping me, right? The head coach.
Sean Payton. Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles. I think he'll cook up a good defensive plan for Bo Nix. He hasn't been playing well. I don't think you're that terrified of Bo Nix right now.
No,
honestly,
sure.
I think if he doesn't play well, I think he should get benched.
Oh, wow.
No, just for his sake, man.
Oh, okay.
Just for his sake, you don't want to ruin the guy's I know it sucks, but hey, man, I don't know what our expectations were, but you ain't meeting them right now, and you're kind of costing his games, homie. So,
no, I don't think you're wrong. I don't know if I'd bench him.
Not like a permanent bench.
No,
but
I understand what you're saying. What's the best way to develop a young guy? Do you save him from losing confidence because you don't have a system around him that's ready, or do you just play him as much as possible and let him develop the hard way?
Dude, it really depends.
Yeah, I agree.
I like what the Chiefs did, but the Chiefs were set up very well. Like they had a guy that they were winning games with Alex Smith. They had the tight end,
Tyreek
Hill. So I like what the Chiefs did, and they once they saw Patrick had evolved past Alex Smith, bam. But I don't know. I mean, it's tough because when you get drafted by these teams number one overall, typically these teams, the reason why they got it is because they weren't really good.
Yeah.
And so it's tough with the Broncos because they haven't been good since Peyton's last year. They haven't made the playoffs since then.
I think that's the last time they made the playoffs. That was 10 years ago.
That's crazy, bro. Man, things that can happen in decades. So I don't know. The Broncos just aren't stable, right? I know Sean Payton, he has all that, but it's not stable at this moment. And so I think if you go down 0-3 or it's looking ugly, I think you gotta pull them and hey, we need to fix this because you're supposed to be our future.
No, I mean I don't totally disagree. I read an article on the Athletic,
and I think JJ McCarthy was better set up in his situation because he has Justin Jefferson, he had James Addison, he has Jordan Addison,
Aaron Jones in the backfield.
Aaron Jones, and then
T.J. Hawkinson is
T.J. Hawkinson. I couldn't think
of
his name.
They've got a pretty decent pieces on their O-line. And Kevin O'Connell's an offensive genius.
Yeah, apparently. And Broncos,
no, they don't have any. They don't have pieces. They just don't. They have Sean Payton.
Yeah, Sean Payton. I like Javonte Williams.
Yeah, he's alright.
Yeah.
I read an interesting article on The Athletic that talked about the NFL with the Bryce Young news of his benching. It talked about how the NFL really has a problem with developing young quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud is kind of the exception. Anthony Richardson is to be determined. Will Levis looks like he could be out of the league in the very near future. You go back to the 2021 draft, there were 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Only one of them is left on their current team. And that one, Trevor Lawrence, is struggling. The other ones, Trey Lance, basically gone. Just non-existent in the league. Mac Jones, backing up Trevor Lawrence. Justin Fields, now on his second team. It makes some good arguments. I don't know. I took issue with some of it because it's C.J. Stroud was set up better in Houston. And it's okay, we did not think that until C.J. Stroud got there and C.J. Stroud turned around that team. We don't get to sit here and look at C.J. Stroud's success and be that's because he went to a good system. Nobody thought Nico Collins was a number 1 before C.J. Stroud got there. Don't belittle what C.J. Stroud is clearly a special player. He would have gone to Carolina and probably been really good in Carolina too. I digress. I think you raised some good points, and I do think you raise a pretty critical question about how teams are trying to go about this very question. How do you develop a quarterback without ruining them? And it seems like the NFL's having a tough time. Speaking of young quarterbacks that are struggling, could be out of the league, let's go to the Titans and the Packers. Will Levis. Did you hear what Brian Callahan, the Titans head coach, said this week?
No, what did he say?
I want to look it up. I don't have it in front of me, but they asked him about a throw that Will Levis made that I think was an interception or something during the game.
Oh, yeah, he was I don't know what he's doing.
He's I don't know what he was doing. He made the same mistake last week, too. Totally just shredded him to the media. And, I know people want to, I don't know how people feel about that if they're not a fan of that, but, he's not wrong. That's what it is. He can sit there and sugarcoat it all he wants, but, the rest of the league knows what's going on.
We have memes. We have a meme was created week 1 of him he threw the pig at the end of the game, the Bears game, and then there was a meme of him when he tried the ladder or whatever he was trying to do. We had a meme of that. Bro, yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's not going well. But Christian, I'm gonna throw it to you. I feel like you made your feelings pretty clear earlier. Titans or Packers?
It's the Packers. It's Pack City over here, dog. What? Have the floor.
I'm gonna do a funny, and I'm gonna go Titans. I'm gonna go Titans.
Good luck with that. Hopefully he fixes his mistakes. But,
I reserve the right to change my pick if Jordan Love plays. If Jordan Love plays, my pick is the Packers. I want that on record. If Jordan Love plays, my pick is the Packers.
I still think Malik Willis could come there and go into Tennessee and get a win.
I'm scared. All the pros are they're telling me no, and I'm like, but why? And they're like, just trust it. And I'm like, I don't know why you're telling me this. Anyway. Browns Giants.
Browns.
I also have the Browns.
Right.
All right. Colts Bears.
Ooh. Now this I have to pause because I'm like, whoa.
I will tell you who I'm going with. I'm going with Colts. No conviction. I'm just going Colts.
I'll go Bears.
Yeah, I like the Colts. I think they're more desperate. I trust them to get out of this spot. I think they have the coaching advantage. And I
Jets
just
scored again.
I just really need to see something from Caleb Williams that gives me hope that he can be I know eventually he will be. I'm not saying like I've given up on him already. I think he'll still be really good, but like these early games, I have not seen anything yet that leads me to suggest he's going to like come into this game and just start tearing it up.
Yeah.
Now this defense is not good. He got a little unlucky. He played a Titans defense that seems to be really good, and he had to go play a Texans defense on the road that's also pretty good. So I think this will be a little bit of a reprieve for him. So yeah, Colts. I'm going with the Colts either way.
Going with Colts.
All right. How about Panthers Raiders?
Now, as I said, I didn't pick them to win, but I do. Hopefully they can cover, which I think they can. But I'm gonna go Raiders. Yeah, Raiders. Yeah, I'm gonna go Raiders.
I'm gonna go Panthers. Not confident enough to bet them, but I'll have a little fun with it, and I'll say they get the upset. This just feels like I can picture it in my mind's eye. Like Andy Dalton comes in and wins, and everybody's like, "Oh man, Panthers have life," and everybody just talks about how bad Bryce Young is. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. How about you give me Seahawks,
Dolphins.
and Dolphins?
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's
Seahawks.
go there. I'm going Seahawks as well.
Miami cross country trip. Skylar Thompson starting. I don't have any faith. But hopefully we can make it interesting.
I think y'all make it interesting. I give y'all a chance. I don't think I'm not writing y'all out completely. I think y'all will keep it close. I just on the margins when we get into situational football, I'm going to trust the Seahawks to take care of business.
I don't think the weather's ideal. It is in Seattle. And then, yeah, like I said, I don't know. I want to see something out of this offense. That's what I'm looking for. Because I'm not saying Mike McDaniels needs to get fired or anything. I'm coming for his job, but I need to see something. You know?
Yeah, I feel that.
I want to see a little bit.
You're on extended rest. You got to show me some flashes. You know, now you're not playing with your quarterback. Now you have a backup quarterback in.
I need you to
at least a
scheme.
month.
I need to see some schemes. You know.
I want to see. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. This is a good Mike McDaniel's prove it moment here. I like that. All right, Ravens Cowboys. Ravens going to Dallas. I want to give some quick.
This
stats
line,
here.
this line's been crazy, right? Like, because it opened with the Cowboys being favored.
I think so. Yeah.
Baltimore's.
Yeah.
Is favored now by a point.
That tells you, Baltimore shouldn't bet them. That's what that tells you, that trend. No, Baltimore is 20 under Lamar Jackson. Lamar is 20-1 against the NFC.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's the stat they always talk about whenever they talk about Lamar in the NFC. I will say this: the reason for that is because these NFC teams don't play Lamar very much, and it's very, very hard to scheme and prepare for Lamar when you just haven't played against him. It's hard when you have. Like, let alone when you haven't. Like, let me just put some context into this. This will be the first time Micah Parsons has played against Lamar Jackson. The last time they played Lamar Jackson and the Ravens was in 2020. I want to double check that. It's been a long time though. I don't think Dak's ever actually played against Lamar Jackson.
Was he injured during?
He was injured. That was the year he broke his leg.
Unfortunate.
So I'm just double checking. Here we are, right here. This is where we need to be. Yeah, last time was December 8th, 2020. So Dak and Lamar have never played against each other head to head.
Oh wow.
Micah Parsons has never played against Lamar Jackson. Like, just to give some context as to how very not often these two teams play and how difficult it is for teams to prepare for Lamar when they haven't played him. So I digress. Go ahead, Christian. What's your pick?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I'll go Baltimore. I'm not very confident, and this is. I mean, it's a must win for both teams. More so for the Ravens. You don't want to go down 0-3. This is their division. They're in the AFC, so they're a tougher conference. So it's going to be very hard for them if they do go down 0-3. But on the other side, the Cowboys do kind of need this win as well. Coming off that embarrassing loss at home versus the Saints. You don't want to come back the very next week with your fans and lose another one. So, um, but I'm gonna go Baltimore. I mean, but hey, Baltimore is weak. Offensive line, defensively, they're not all put together.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just all the memes said. Oh man, that sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna go Baltimore, but no, not much confident. I can see either team winning this game.
I
Is Tom Brady doing this game again?
he
Because it's
is.
on Fox.
Yeah, he is then.
Why is this man getting all the Cowboys games?
Because the Cowboys are always America's game of the week.
I guess he does work for Fox, and yeah, they always get it. God damn.
I am going to go Baltimore as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I just a lot of
that's
a lot
rough.
of the reason
Man,
you said.
back-to-back home losses.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of what
That-
you said. Like
That sucks.
I will disagree with you. I don't think this is a must-win for the Cowboys.
You don't think so?
No, because the Cowboys they're gonna probably lose this game. They're gonna be 1-2. If everything goes the way I think, the
This
Eagles
for
will
the
be
fans
1-2
at
as well.
least.
Yeah, I mean I get it, but like they're gonna turn around in 4 days and go play the Giants, and they're gonna be right, and they're gonna be 2-2, and all's probably gonna be okay. Like
True.
they have some tough games coming up.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
after the
they
Giants,
are the Sunday night.
after the
third.
Giants, they have the Lions, and then they go on a bye, and then they play the Niners.
NFL,
So
this is how you treat me for my birthday. You gave me Cowboys Giants for my birthday. That's
you're
crazy.
welcome.
Yeah, I'm not happy. I am not
No,
happy.
so, but so I think this is
It's
the
single
Cowboys.
games.
You want the Cowboys to win, right? Like they want to win, but if the Ravens lose this game, dude, I mean,
It looks
they
way
play
worse.
the Bills,
Yeah.
and then they play the bank. Like this could spiral quick. Whereas the Cowboys, it's like, yeah, you lose two tough home games, and then you go on the road and beat the Giants, and you're 2-2 after the first month. And the Eagles are sitting there probably at 2-2. The Commanders are probably 1-3. The Giants are 0-4. Like you're fine. Whereas the Ravens, it's like, okay, we know the Bengals will start winning. The Steelers could be 3-0 this week. The Browns, they're playing the Giants, so they could be 2-1 this week. Like, and you're in the AFC anyway, and you've already lost to the Chiefs. Like, you gotta win. You have to win this game. Whereas the Cowboys, they should win. They want to win, but like they don't have to win. And I think the Ravens I understand this Ravens team might not be what we're used to seeing, and that may just be something we have to come to terms with as we go throughout this season. But I'm not ready to sell my Ravens stock yet. I will give the Ravens the benefit of the doubt as the better team in this game, and I'll say they should win this game. So I'll take the Ravens. All right, how about Lions-Cardinals going to Arizona? Is this a get-right game for the Lions, or is this where the Cardinals prove they're legit?
Man, back in the day, this was giving Black Air Force One energy, and it still is necessarily because I don't know what the Cardinals are because like they kind of didn't play all that well in week one, and then mollywopped the Rams, and now they're back here playing their favorite team that they like to get silly with.
This is such a weird, historically weird matchup. This Cardinals-Lions matchup. It's always funky.
Oh wow, this is the Lions' first away game, but it is in State Farm Stadium. So, ooh. I'm, Dan Campbell crying at the podium at the end of the game. I'm gonna say his team comes out very impassioned and they get this win. So I'm gonna go Detroit again.
I'm also going Detroit. I think the problem with the Lions is Jared Goff. Jared Goff has just not
He
been
is not
good.
1-3,
Now,
one touchdown, 3 interceptions.
I think to be fair, it feels like almost every team in the league right now can say that their quarterback has not been living up to has not been up to par. So Jared Goff is one of many. This isn't a unique Jared Goff problem, but I mean, yeah, like if Jared Goff plays better, they win that game last week, and he just did not play well at all. I think the Cardinals are coming off a huge win, feeling themselves a little bit. Feels like a decent letdown spot for them. I think Detroit has a chance to get right.
They are at home.
They are at home. I get that. I like the Lions here, though. I'm going to go Lions. I'm not. The Lions being 1-2 through 3 weeks just feels very hard to picture.
Yeah.
All right, Niners Rams. I'll be quick. I'm going to go Niners. I'll be rooting for the Rams. I just don't see the path for them to win this game.
I'm going to go Niners as well. I didn't look it up, but I think Kyle Shanahan is.
Yeah, I think
Sean McVay has struggled against Kyle Shanahan.
McVay. They won. The Rams won the last time they played, but it was the last game of last season when all the starters were benched and the Rams played Carson Wentz and won. But no, Kyle Shanahan in the regular season owns Sean McVay and the Rams. Some blowouts, some tight squeakers, but always a win. Usually, I guess. So yeah, I'm going Niners, but I'll be rooting for the Rams.
Yeah, Niners as well.
All right. Sunday night. Oh,
Sunday night. This is a weird. This is a weird good game.
This is Black Force Air Ones. Black Air Force Ones. This is Black Air Force Ones right here. This is what this game is. I have such funky feelings about this.
You didn't take the Chiefs -3, Jay.
Dude, no, I'm scared. I thought of I thought about it. Because it was 3.5 for so long, and I got married to my other picks, and then I saw like 2 hours or an hour before we hopped on, it was at 3, and I'm like, I'm not changing my pick to make the Chiefs. I'm not doing it. Like I'm just not confident enough to do it right now. I'm gonna wait. So, and a lot of the pros are coming in heavy on the Falcons, so that scared me off too.
Yeah, Falcons. So I mean, their defense. I mean, they could. So, let me see. I mean, the Falcons, man, they got a good defense, so like they could give them fits. And Patrick Mahomes hasn't been playing perfect, and I think the Chiefs aren't going undefeated, so they're gonna lose a game here and there. Could it be this one? And it's Kirk Cousins though, man. He has been winning his primetime games. Though.
Yeah, I found that stat out after we talked. Last week. I saw that same thing. I was like, oh, okay. I guess he's actually been good lately.
He's been. I think they said
7-2. He's 7-2 now or something in his last.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. Because he just won one.
Dude, I can't
do it.
I just can't.
All right, I'll do it.
You gonna do it?
I'm going Falcons.
Oh. Dude, Kirk Cousins versus Patrick Mahomes, man. Falcons do have a good defense, though. And they got a good offensive line. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do about Chris Jones and all that stuff.
It will be.
But they have Bijan. They can run the ball, man. We'll see. I go Chiefs. I can't do it. Yeah. I couldn't pull the trigger. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you picked the Falcons because I was thinking about it for very hard, man.
I got it written here, going Falcons. All right. We get into the Monday night. We got a double header on Monday night, which is pretty cool. We usually have this at the first couple weeks of the season, but we didn't have it this time. So, all right, first one, Jacksonville Jaguars, Buffalo Bills. Big game.
No confidence. I'm going Bills.
I'm going Jags.
No confidence in the Jags. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going Jags.
I'm pretty confident in the Bills. I think they'll play
this
fine.
Just feels like.
You're on Jags.
Does it not feel like the spot where the Bills would let you down? Extended rest at home, playing an 0-2 team, and they shit the bed.
I don't think so. Maybe eventually, but I don't think this one.
Fair. All right.
I'm not a fan of Trevor Lawrence right now.
No, I'm not either.
Um,
It's tough. I'm not gonna.
Defensively, I think the Bills are doing like playing pretty solid. They got the extended rest. So looking extra hard. I think Matt McDermott's gonna have a very good game plan for him, and then I just think as long as Josh Allen doesn't try to be Superman, like you don't have to win us the game. Like we can give it to James Cook and all that, and the tight ends and all that, and we can play it safe.
Yeah, for sure. I don't have a lot of confidence in Trevor Lawrence, but I just I mean, at some point they're going to win a game, and
Yeah,
I have a hard time picturing the Jaguars being 0-3 at this juncture. So I
we'll
think
see.
this is a great letdown spot. I think this is a good get right spot for the Jaguars. I like the Jaguars here. So all right, and then Bengals Commanders to round out the week. I'm gonna go Bengals. I just
I wanted to make this one of my bets, but that's 7 points.
it's a
That's a
big
lot.
spread, yeah.
And
No,
then
I like the
Jaden,
Bengals here.
that's that. I know they play Lamar, but they don't play Lamar that great. I don't. They don't play Lamar that great either. So I think they could struggle, but I think this they'll get right. I think they'll make it up to their fans for that week 1 loss to the Patriots, and they'll get this win here. But
For
I think
sure.
it's not gonna be easy. Like I think the Commanders might give it to them a little bit.
Of course, of course. All right, cool. Well, that's it, Christian. We're done. We did it.
We did it. We diddly done did it.
All right, y'all. Well, have a great football weekend. Have a great. I hope your week's going okay, and we'll catch you at the next one. We'll catch you either Sunday or Monday for our recap, and then we'll be back on Wednesday to do it all over again. Um,
That's what we do.
yeah, I hope your bets go well. I hope your fantasy football teams win, and I'm ready to see how things all turn out for us. So take it easy, y'all. Be safe, and we love you.
Peace.
Peace.
Damn.
I think the
Just kicking their ass.
yeah, it's 21-3. Morgan Moses just went down too.
Ooh.